This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Conservatives, and Fox News for that matter, what I'm going to talk about today, love Donald Trump so much that they have adopted, they are mimicking his tactics. There is a special election, a recall election right now in California where I live, where conservatives and anti-mask ding-dongs and anti-vax morons are attempting to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. And Fox News is now using Donald Trump's same tactics about stealing elections, about widespread voter fraud, the myth of these things, and they are trying to set the stage for when Larry Elder, the leading conservative idiot on the ticket, there's like 24, maybe more candidates, that my ballot is just littered with a cacophony of weirdos. And Fox News is now setting the stage to question the results of the election when, and I'm going to show polling data, when Larry Elder eventually is defeated and Gavin Newsom gets to keep his seat and be ousted maybe during a normal election cycle. Watch this clip with the Tommi Lahren, this new version of Tommi Lahren, who apparently is real fond of the hair of Jessie D because she changed her platinum bleach blonde to this new color. More importantly, though, is the idiocy that she is spewing from the hole under her nose. Watch this.
I will say this, to Charlie's point. Yes, Gavin Newsom has raised a whole lot of money from teachers' unions and special interests and tech, but that money is not going to save him. The only thing that will save Gavin Newsom is voter fraud. So as they say, stay woke, pay attention to the voter fraud going on in California, because it's going to have big consequences not only for that state, but for upcoming elections. Every bad idea originates in California, and that just happens to be where Kamala's from. No coincidence there.
It is amazing what passes for talent over there at Fox News, that they've made this little girl who has no experience whatsoever other than hosting a student TV show at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. They've given her a platform. Where to begin? Well, first of all, I don't understand this tendency, this tactic to malign teachers' unions as though that's a bad thing, that's a bad group to have support you if you are a candidate. That a group of individuals who have dedicated their lives and their careers to educating children, that the group that represents them is that's a radical activist group. I'd have teachers' unions on my side any day. Secondly, this preoccupation with the word woke. You know, as the saying goes, stay woke. What are you even talking about, Tommi Lahren? Because if woke is a bad thing, and woke to you means caring about social justice, caring about matters of race, caring about equality, caring about diversity, then count me in. Speaking of woke, it's not a surprise. I have the clip prepared. Let's watch the anti-woke. The LA Times recently did an article calling Larry Elder the blackface of white supremacy. And it is not far from the truth. They rail against being woke while putting this guy as their leading candidate to replace Gavin Newsom, who argued that slave owners should get reparations. The man who is opposed to reparations for the descendants of African slaves is now making an argument to Candace Owens, the other blackface of white supremacy, making an argument that, well, we should be giving reparations to people who lost their property. Watch this.
Right behind them.
By the way, when you mentioned that the UK was ahead of us, they were. Do you know that the slave owners were compensated?
after they lost their quote-unquote property, the government compensated slave owners.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so when people talk about reparations, do they really want to have that conversation? Because, like it or not, slavery was legal. And so their property, their legal property, was taken away from them after the Civil War. So you could make an argument that the people that are owed reparations, and not only just black people, but also the people whose quote property, close quote, was taken away after the end of the Civil War.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Well, the reason you didn't know it, Candace Owens, is because it wasn't a national policy objective that was meted out by Abraham Lincoln or his successor. It was done in the District of Columbia, where they paid $300 per freed slave. Just in D.C. This didn't happen all across the South. And to make the argument that we should pay people back for something that is morally abhorrent is itself morally abhorrent. Larry Elder, who wants to be my governor, who wants to lead a diverse group of Americans and be the governor of the state of California, the 5th largest economy on the planet. And people are waking up to it. They realize that this is dangerous, what could possibly happen here with Larry Elder being the governor. Polling data from across the spectrum of companies, from both, standard and conservative idiot Trafalgar, they are finding that he is losing. So this is from the Public Policy Institute of California. Didn't think I'd have to switch glasses, but this is fine print. This is recently, September 2021. Question 5, on September 14th, there will be a special election on whether to recall Governor Newsom from office. If the election were held today, would you vote yes to recall or remove Gavin Newsom as governor or no? 39% of likely voters said yes, they would recall or remove Gavin Newsom. 39%. 58% said no. That is a wide margin of victory, looking like Gavin, if everything goes well and everybody actually gets involved and sends in their mail-in ballot, it looks like Gavin Newsom is going to handily defeat Larry Elder and handily defeat the recall effort. And it's not just reputable polling data companies. It is also the Trafalgar Group, who found, yes, remove him, 43.1%. No, keep him, 52.8%. Again, about 10 points from a conservative outfit. Undecided 4.1%. So that is what they're going to do here. They're going to claim, oh, this was rigged. It was rigged. We need an audit. We need to hire lawyers. And I don't say that out of hand as some kind of a prediction. We can listen to Larry Elder's stupid mouth say the very thing, setting himself up for a challenge, setting himself up for an anti-democratic power grab by using the courts to overturn the results of a free and fair election. Watch this clip of Larry Elder on none other than Fox News.
Absolutely. A lot of people think you have the wind at your back, but you seem to be concerned about some shenanigans that could be happening at the ballot box or maybe in the mail.
Well, I am. Well, not only that, I'm also concerned about the way the left-wing media have characterized this. It's one thing to come after me, as the LA Times did, and Rachel, they called me the black face of white supremacy. Yeah. It's another thing to come after people like former Senator Gloria Romero for just having the temerity to want better education, better educational outcomes for their kids. She has been assaulted by the very left-wing people she was once in bed with. But you're right, I am concerned about voter fraud, and that's why I'm asking people to go to electelder.com. That's my website. We have a voter integrity project set up with a bunch of lawyers ready to file lawsuits if anybody sees anything suspicious. And I'm urging people to vote yes on the recall and turn in your ballot right away. Make sure you sign the ballot and then get 10 of your friends to do it as well. And put something in the tip jar for me at electelder.com because my opponent has raised so far $75 million, Rachel, from the usual suspects. Teachers Union, Public Sectors Union, Hollywood, and Big Tech.
Again, with the preoccupation of maligning teachers unions. It is just reprehensible. Also, if there has ever been a dead-eyed wonderkin, it is Larry Elder, who by the way, if you're not real familiar with Larry Elder is partially responsible for giving us Stephen Miller, Donald Trump's Stephen Miller, Jeff Sessions's Stephen Miller, white supremacy's Stephen Miller, who was a regular call-in guest on Larry Elder's show when he was in high school. When Stephen Miller was in high school. We all know he's a vampire who's lived for hundreds of years, but he played a kid for a while in the 90s. So that is where we are. They are setting the stage to lie, hire lawyers, and also he's begging for money because of the shenanigans. When it is an expected outcome that a Democrat would win the election. Expected in California. This isn't a conservative stronghold with cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles. The population is overwhelmingly Democrat, overwhelmingly liberal. It would be a shock if Larry Elder were to win. And here they are trying to lie, trying to set the stage. It's just a page out of Donald Trump's playbook. Anti-democracy. And it's a problem. I'd love to know what you think, though. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have you connect with me on social media. That would be fantastic. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok even. And I would appreciate it if you would consider supporting my work, helping produce my work here on the platform. For as little as $2 a month, you can become a channel member, clicking the join button below this video. And if that's not your deal, maybe you're already given to a creator on Patreon. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you live in California, get your ballot in. Vote no on this recall nonsense. And that will be the shenanigans that they hate. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.